Nintendo has discontinued the NES Classic Edition, which is a terrible decision in my opinion. Hey Nintendo fans and collectors, Lithium here from my channel Nintendo Collecting. I am clearly a very hardcore Nintendo fanboy, and I'm aware of that. I love their products and I love their games, but I'm not afraid to call them out when I feel like they're doing something wrong, and discontinuing this product is an insanely bad decision. The demand for this product is still insanely high, and they're discontinuing it. So in this video, I want to talk about a statement and go over the statement that Nintendo released about discontinuing this product. I want to give you my thoughts on them discontinuing it, and I don't want to call it a justification, but I just want to try and see if I can understand what Nintendo is thinking with this, and I also want to offer you my own personal apology as a Nintendo fan for them discontinuing this, because this is truly troubling. If you don't know what the NES Classic Edition is, it's a wonderful emulator, essentially, that plays on nostalgia. It's a tiny NES system. It has 30 of the best games probably from the system. Maybe not the definitive list, but pretty close. And it really does play on your nostalgic roots. Now, sure, the controller cord was insanely short. It's actually shorter than the nunchuck cord to your Wii remote, which is absolutely ridiculous in 2017. But it plays those games in HD. It does it well. You can actually mod the system and add more games if you would like to it. And it originally sold for $60. That was the suggested retail price. Right now, if you want to buy it locally here, where I live, it's $300 usually. And if you're buying it on eBay, it's over $250 US. That's absolutely an insane price. I'm going to go through the statement that Nintendo released. Let me read it to you. Throughout April, Nintendo of America territories will receive the last shipments of Nintendo Entertainment System NES Classic Edition systems for this year. We encourage anyone interested in obtaining the system to check with retail outlets regarding availability. We understand that it has been difficult for many consumers to find a system, and for that we apologize. We have paid close attention to consumer feedback, and we greatly appreciate the incredible level of consumer interest and support for this product. NES Classic Edition wasn't intended to be an ongoing long-term product. However, due to high demand, we did add extra shipments to our original plans. End quote. I'm going to break down this statement for you and give you my thoughts on this. They're saying that most consumer outlets, or all of them, will receive the last shipments for this year. This year is far from over. It's only April, and they're saying it's already done for this year. That's why people believe they're discontinuing this product altogether. And I agree with them. If they're discontinuing it for this year, why would they release more of them randomly next year? That would be very odd unless... Nope, that would just be very odd. I have no justification for that whatsoever. They said anyone who wants to try and find a system should contact some retail outlets. Now, I just decided to contact the big retail outlets that sell this, and this really should have been on every single corner store at $60, especially at the holiday season. But I contacted Walmart. They didn't really have a clue. Best Buy said we're likely never going to get them in again. EB Games, I talked to some staff members that were pretty interested in this conversation, and over the phone we had a decent conversation with a few of the employees, or I had a decent conversation with a few of the employees, who just said, you know, it's pretty sad that it's discontinued. I'm not sure if we're going to get any more in. One of them did say that they got one in about a week ago or 2 weeks ago. They got one in, and that was about it in my region. So contacting your retail outlets, it's basically probably too late, but I would stay attentive. If you know when they get shipments in, maybe just go in before they open and just see and hope that you can get one of these things so you can pay $60 for it, not $250 US, which is crazy. So that's insane. It says, we understand it's been difficult for a lot of consumers to find the system, but then they go ahead and they cancel the system, which is ridiculous. And then they do say, for that, we apologize. But part of their apology is then discontinuing the system. No other business or company, in my opinion, would do this. I'm trying to relate this to something like Apple. If Apple had a product that was selling insanely well, they wouldn't discontinue it. They would obviously offer more of that product to their consumers, and they would make more money on it. I don't quite understand. I'm happy that Nintendo didn't say, well, now we're still going to sell it, but it's going to be $100. But that would almost be better than them discontinuing it. At least people would be able to get their hands on it. I'm so baffled by this. It said, we paid close attention to consumer feedback. We greatly appreciate the high or incredible level of consumer interest and support for this product. And they reward us by discontinuing it. NES Classic Edition wasn't intended to be an ongoing long-term product. Well, most things aren't intended to be long-term products, so this wasn't supposed to be a system that's going to be out for years to come. But they should have had more to sell if the demand is still insanely high right now. However, due to high demand, we did add extra shipments to our original plans. So they're kind of throwing you a bone and saying, well, we were only supposed to have maybe a few shipments of these, but we increased the production and we produced more of them because they were selling so well, so there you go. That doesn't help any of the Nintendo fans that doesn't have their hands on this yet, and I almost feel guilty having this in my collection right now when I know someone else out there really wants one. My best friend from growing up and from high school, he was asking me, roughly around Christmas season, you know, how is it? Should I get one? I'm pretty interested in it. I would love to boot up and play Zelda and Mario and all those great games from my childhood that I used to play with my brother, he said. And I said, you know what? If you can get your hands on it, absolutely. It's just the demand is so high and you can't really find it. And he never ended up finding one of these, and he still doesn't have one of these to play. This system is perfect for anyone who's looking for that nostalgic trip down memory lane, or just to play these games in HD. But it's also really great for kids. It's also really great to get people who have never played these Nintendo games into Nintendo games, especially because it had save states, and you can play through some pretty challenging NES games in 2016, 2017, and beat them because of the save states. Nintendo deciding to cancel this is an extremely odd decision. That's just going to upset a lot of people, and it's even leaving me disheartened that they're still making this kind of decision in 2017. I'm really frustrated for it. I feel a lot of people, I feel sorry, and I'm personally sorry. I want to offer my own personal apology to you as a Nintendo fan myself, because I'm so baffled by it. I almost feel like I'm responsible for this in some way, even though I've never worked with the company or for the company. Nintendo has announced in Europe that this is discontinued. In Australia it's discontinued. In North America, and the one in Japan that I just recently picked up, just over a month ago, I haven't opened it or unboxed it yet. Apparently that one's discontinued as well. It's the same 30 games, but clearly the design is a little bit different. It's based off the family computer rather than the NES Classic or the NES system. I'm so frustrated. I feel fortunate to have both of these in my collection, but when a product sells for $60 and then is quadrupling or quintupling in price with scalpers, that just really upsets me. The only thing that I can possibly conceive that Nintendo's thinking with this is perhaps they want to focus on the Nintendo Switch. They don't want the NES Classic taking anything away from the Nintendo Switch, but that is a terrible line of reasoning for Nintendo to make, because the NES Classic is like $60 and the Switch is hundreds of dollars. They're completely different price points for different fans and different people. Clearly the same fan might want both of them, but it's not like they're competing with each other, so there's no reason to cancel it in that way. The other thing maybe they're thinking is that the Switch is coming out with their Virtual Console, and it's going to have a lot of those games on it, and they'd rather have people playing them on the Switch. But that's poor reasoning too. That doesn't really make any sense, especially because this is a buy one at a great price, and it really should have been available absolutely everywhere. So Nintendo fans, I feel disheartened and sad, and I personally am sorry that if you're not able to get your hands on this. I would love to hear you shout out as a comment below. Were you able to pick up one of these? What is your opinion on Nintendo in 2017 making this kind of decision again? And as Nintendo fans, I feel like we should be tweeting them, don't discontinue this product, make more of these. I feel like we should be sending them messages or emails to ask them to don't do this. This is the bad decision. This is something that you should never be doing to your fans, especially when a lot of people are going to get upset and they can't get their hands on this. And people might have been waiting to finally get their hands on this rather than paying crazy prices, and now they're unable to do so. So please comment below. What are your thoughts on this? I feel like this is a sad day in Nintendo's history. This is a really poor decision from them, and I personally apologize as a Nintendo fan. If any of you are going through this terrible situation and can't get this system at any point and have to turn to eBay to spend hundreds of dollars. What a crazy day in Nintendo's history. Thanks so much for watching, even though it's a weird video. I really appreciate it. Please comment below. Feel free to fill that like bucket. Follow me on all the social media links in the description below the video. And remember, as always, if you can, go collect them all. Keep smiling while gaming. Let's keep our heads up. And if you can find one of these and maybe make a trade for someone, that would be wonderful, rather than forcing someone to pay $300 to get this system in 2017.